Welcome everyone to Old Man Wisdom. It's the 4th of March 2022, a Friday. The markets are due to close in just a few hours, so let's take a quick look at what's been happening this week and what we can expect for next week on the Euro USD. So the blue rectangle here represents where the week started, but last Friday I drew this chart pattern and explained what I hoped to see for the Euro USD. It pushed up. I wanted it to pull back slightly, push back up again, and then of course fade away around this level here. Well, it certainly dropped. When the markets opened, it dropped right the way down here. So let's just drag our line here. That's what we expected, a drop. And I said that we wanted to see something quite significant below this level here. So the pullback didn't go as high as I expected. But then what we wanted to see was this pullback under the level and up to this support here. Now, although my original pattern didn't go as high and into this zone here that I wanted, the actual shape and the pullbacks were kind of exactly what I wanted to see. And it turned out that this level and this high here was the zone, and we wanted the price to stall. Well, it certainly did, and it dropped away quite dramatically. If we just zoom up a little bit, you'll see that this was the original kind of area that we was looking at right up here. And this line here, originally when I did the video last week the line was actually here. But of course, price in between me doing last week's video and the close of the market just went a little bit higher up to here. And it spiked up into it, pulled back, and of course this would have been the area we sold. And this was around Tuesday. So price action wise, things kind of went the way I expected. We was looking for a sell, and that's exactly what we got. The reason is because we'd already seen price make this zigzag move down. It was coming up for a pullback, and we wanted it to drop, which is what it did. What can we expect for next week? Well, let's just plot the highs and lows. So you see that we're still in a downtrend very nicely. So what we'd want to see for next week is obviously a pullback. And where would we want the pullback to kind of come to? Well, certainly this previous low here would be fantastic, and we're certainly at a key area right now. The reason why I say that is because we've got some nice wicks. Price is properly stalled around here. There is no hard and fast rule to say that price can't drop further. However, we want the price to come back up to around this level here before we look at selling again. But we wouldn't sell just blindly. We want to see price stalling, either with some nice long wicks that just pierce into the area, and maybe the body of the candle can't break this resistance here. So we get pull back, a pull up. It can't make a new high, and so we would expect it to carry on dropping. That's the kind of pattern that we want to see price action wise next week on the Euro USD. As for our indicator last week, this was the kind of pattern that we wanted to see. As you'll notice, price didn't go quite as high as we wanted. It didn't kind of touch this multi-time frame moving average, unfortunately. But we did get a considerable pullback. We did get a new high here, and we did get the fall away with price. So certainly it made the kind of shape we wanted, but just not in the area that we wanted to see. The downside to that then is that our MACD didn't give us a sell signal this week. Even though price went in the way in which we wanted, it made the kind of shape that price action makes when it can't go any higher. But unfortunately, we didn't get any signals from the MACD. So what can we expect for next week? Well, you'll notice that the MACD is considerably under the zero line, considerably. So it could be that it makes kind of this shape as it moves back upwards. And if you could imagine this multi-time frame moving average moving sideways like this. So we want price to come up towards this multi-time frame moving average as much as possible. And if price stays under the moving average, then we might get the sell signal from the MACD. Of course, we will only sell if price remains below this multi-time frame moving average. If price goes above, then again we would expect a pullback before we buy, and of course we would expect the signal from the MACD indicator. So there again we have two options. If price remains below the multi-time frame moving average, we'll look for a sell signal on the MACD. And if price bursts through the multi-time frame moving average and remains above it, then we can expect the MACD to give us a buy signal. So we have the two options there. This one here being purely price action, and this one here being a MACD indicator. Like I always say, we never really truly know what price will do, what the charts will do. It's something that we have to use our experience and wisdom on. Sometimes we can rely on these kind of patterns to give us an indication, and of course also the way the candlesticks look, whether they have long wicks or not. But however you trade, hopefully I've given you a bit of an idea about what price could be doing next week on the Euro-USD. So hopefully you found this quite interesting, a bit informative, and gives you a couple of ideas for trading next week. If you've liked what you've seen, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And all that's left to say is have a fantastic weekend, and I'll be speaking to you very, very soon.